especially a small selection of Grand Canyon paintings, and we can enjoy these. This is a view from Plateau Point. And again, you can just see this wonderfully rich color. And if you've seen the exhibit, you know that these aren't exaggerated. He's got just a fantastic sense of color. And again, composition, a very traditional compositional technique is an X. And you can see how, so take note in a lot of his Grand Canyon paintings how there's an X-like form that occurs. And so that creates movement through the composition. It carries you through the landscape, through the space, and it also provides a solid basis for the rest of the elements. Here are a couple of paintings of the Colorado River. So, does anybody recognize where this is from? No? He's from just off the Black Bridge looking upstream. Here's another one of the same view. And you can see in these two pieces also how he really likes diagonals. A lot of painters like diagonals because they're so dynamic. This is one of my favorite paintings. When people ask me my favorite painting in the exhibit, I frequently say this one for a number of reasons. You may recognize where this is from. If you hike to Phantom Ranch on the Kaibab Trail, you should know where this is. This is just down from the tip-off. And Bruce isn't here tonight, is he? I didn't see him. Bruce, is he here? No? Okay.
Yeah, he's here.
Bruce? Ah! This is on the Kaibab Trail. I looked it up today. We were talking about this a few weeks ago. Looking downstream, it's just down from the first little ledges there. Anyway, I love this piece for two reasons. One, because of its color. Two, because, well, as I was saying, he was very adventurous, and he hiked all over the place. He hiked in the inner canyon, he hiked on the rim, carrying a wooden easel, wooden paint box, wearing woolen clothing. Maybe not down here. And I love the view looking up towards Isis Temple, and I guess, I'm not quite sure what the other thing to the left there is. But at any rate, the depiction of the space is just fantastic, I think. And I also like that the description of the river here is a really nice kind of historical snapshot of how low the river would be because there's no dam upstream at this time, is there? So I think that, so those large gravel bars that you see here indicate that the water level is fairly low. And so it's a nice, kind of ecological snapshot. This is one of the interesting stories that came out of the exhibit. This is from the Petersen collection, a corporate collection in Phoenix, which is actually what the work at the Cold Studio exhibit is drawn from. And this is a painting of a very prominent formation just off the Hermit Trail. And so if you hike down the Hermit Trail, you remember the cathedral stairs very well, and this is where the cathedral stairs are. And this is called Breezy Point. Well, interestingly enough, when this piece came in and was registered for the exhibit, it was called Zoroaster Temple. And if you know Zoroaster Temple, you know this isn't Zoroaster Temple. But I recognize it as Breezy Point because I love Hermit Camp, and I love the Hermit Trail. And so an interesting historical tangent or sidestep here is this painting by Carl Oscar Borg of Hermit Camp, done in 1917. And so you can see Breezy Point there up behind Hermit Camp. Before the Fred Harvey Company began operating Phantom Ranch, they built Hermit Camp down here because they didn't want to keep paying the toll to Ralph Cameron. And so they just said, fine, we'll make our own trail. And so they improved the Hermit Trail and built Hermit Camp. And then today, when I was poking around, I found this postcard which shows the camp and Breezy Point. So nice 3 views of Breezy Point here. And I think I like Gunnar's the best. He loved the North Rim. He spent a lot of time painting the forest over there. He loved trees. And again, I think that with my very modern perspective on painting, I'm not sure I would have the patience to undertake something like this. I think I would lose patience very quickly. But again, very early in his life and career, he began painting forest scenes in Sweden, and it was clearly one of his favorite subjects. And here's another piece. This is in the collection of the Phoenix Art Museum. So if you look at this, you can kind of imagine those really intense colors, as I showed you in that unfinished early piece. You can imagine those intense colors underlying the finished image here. This was in the 1969 exhibit at the Museum of Northern Arizona. This painting called On the Trail to Grandeur Point was the cover photograph for the catalog. And I think this painting, as well as any, illustrate his remarkable ability to describe deep space, with those beautifully soft, kind of blue and yellow light values back in the far distance. And it's a masterpiece. And I think that one of the things that marks great artists throughout history, from any era, I think the ones who persist as, with the recognition as being masters, is their ability to control light and shade. And that was definitely one of Gunnar's great skills. And that's what makes a painting like this so successful. So just a couple of commercial works. This is a painting of Desert View Watchtower that's turned into a postcard. And we do have some postcards on exhibit at the museum, done from his watercolors. And then this is the painting of the great fireplace at Hermit's Rest, which I can't remember who told me this, but they said that they recognized some of these individual rocks, revealing that, and as you look at the painting, you can easily imagine that. I mean, there's not any sense that they were, rubber stamped or however you'd like to imagine that. They all look very much like individuals. And again, it reveals his love for architecture and architectural forms. And then the postcard in the bottom right down there. And then one more Grand Canyon painting. Another historical image that I love. Again, loving Phantom Ranch in the Inner Canyon. So this was painted in 1925. Yeah, 1925. This was a piece that the Santa Fe Railroad purchased. What's interesting about this painting of Phantom Ranch?
The trees aren't grown in yet.
That's right. Thanks. You knew that. Yeah, look.